What is this?
This is a chemical burn.
Fight Club wasn't supposed to become a cult classic. When it hit theaters in October 1999, critics were divided and audiences stayed away. But behind the cameras, the chaos was just as wild as what ended up on screen. Here are 15 verified weird facts about Fight Club that prove sometimes the best movies come from complete madness. If you love discovering the secrets behind legendary movies, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're diving deep into Hollywood's strangest stories. Fact number 1, the initial box office disaster that became legendary. Fight Club opened in October 1999 to polarizing reviews and earned only $37 million domestically against its $63 million budget, making it one of the year's biggest commercial disappointments. Critics were split, some calling it brilliant social commentary, others condemning it as dangerous, nihilistic garbage. Roger Ebert gave it only 2 stars, writing that it was macho porn.
No one will have sex with me.
Disguised as philosophy. However, something extraordinary happened when the film hit DVD. College students and young professionals discovered its deeper anti-consumerist message, turning what was initially a studio disaster into one of cinema's most influential cult classics through home video sales.
What are we then?
Consumers.
Right. You're consumers. Things you own end up owning you.
Fact number 2, David Fincher's obsessive enthusiasm sealed the deal. Fincher wasn't the first choice. Several established directors had passed on the project, finding the material too controversial. But when Fincher read the screenplay, he became obsessed with its potential to critique American consumer culture and male identity crisis. His previous work on Seven proved he could handle dark material while maintaining commercial appeal. Fincher spent months developing his vision, creating detailed storyboards, and working with production designers. He was so passionate about the project that he agreed to work for a significantly reduced fee. Understanding the controversial subject matter meant a smaller budget.
You're not your job. You're not how much money you have in the bank. You're not the car you drive. You're not the contents of your wallet.
Fact number 3, Brad Pitt actually broke his teeth for Tyler Durden. In an extreme example of method acting commitment, Brad Pitt made the shocking decision to visit a cosmetic dentist and have pieces of his front teeth deliberately chipped off so Tyler Durden would have realistically imperfect teeth. This wasn't spur of the moment. Pitt spent weeks researching how real fighters' teeth would look after years of combat. The dental work was carefully planned to ensure damage could be repaired after filming. Pitt told Fincher that Tyler wouldn't have perfect Hollywood teeth, and that the character's philosophy of rejecting vanity meant embracing physical imperfection. He wore the chipped teeth throughout the entire 4-month production, which affected his speech and gave Tyler's dialogue a different cadence.
If you could fight any celebrity, who would you fight?
Alive or dead?
Doesn't matter, who'd be tough?
Hemingway.
Fact number 4, Edward Norton really hit Brad Pitt. In one of the most devious directorial tricks ever captured, David Fincher secretly instructed Edward Norton to actually punch Brad Pitt in the ear during their first fight scene instead of throwing the rehearsed fake punch. Norton was initially horrified, knowing a real punch could injure his co-star, but Fincher convinced him that Pitt's genuine reaction would be irreplaceable. They rehearsed with fake punches multiple times, so Pitt was completely unprepared for the real impact. When cameras rolled, Norton delivered a genuine punch, and Pitt's shocked "what the hell" reaction made it into the final cut. This incident established the tone for production. Fincher wanted authentic moments, even sacrificing actors' comfort.
So come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
It's crazy, you want me to hit you?
Surprise me.
This is so fucking stupid.
Fact number 5, the actors transformed into real fighters through brutal training. Both Norton and Pitt underwent months of intensive training that went far beyond typical Hollywood fitness preparation, essentially becoming amateur fighters for their roles. They trained with professional boxing coaches, learning not just how to throw punches, but take them convincingly. The training included boxing, grappling, taekwondo, and mixed martial arts elements. Norton, who'd never been in a real fight, found the training psychologically transformative, connecting him to a primal masculinity he'd never experienced. Both actors also learned actual soap-making techniques from professionals. Fight choreographer Jeff Imada worked with them 4 hours daily, teaching them to make fake punches look devastatingly real while keeping both actors safe during numerous fight scenes.
How about next week?
How about next month?
Fact number 6. Meatloaf's fat suit secret and emotional breakdown. Meatloaf's portrayal of Robert Bob Paulson required him to wear an elaborate fat suit throughout filming, making him the only actor allowed to break the no shirts rule because the prosthetic needed covering. The suit weighed over 30 pounds and required 3 hours of daily makeup application. What most don't know is that Meatloaf was dealing with his father's recent death during filming, struggling with identity crisis that mirrored his character's emasculation storyline. His emotional breakdown during the "his name was Robert Paulson" scene contained genuine grief that Fincher recognized and encouraged. The fake breasts were filled with birdseed for realistic movement, but made Meatloaf incredibly self-conscious about his appearance throughout production.
My name is Bob.
Bob,
And now I'm bankrupt, I'm divorced, my 2 grown kids.
losing all hope was freedom.
Fact number 7. Helena Bonham Carter's psychological battle with Marla Singer. Helena Bonham Carter found playing Marla Singer so psychologically disturbing that she developed specific therapeutic techniques to separate herself from the character between takes. Marla's nihilistic worldview, sexual dysfunction, and suicidal tendencies were so dark that Carter worried about the character's psychological impact on her mental health. She worked with a therapist throughout production and developed a ritual of immediately switching to her natural British accent after each take, using the vocal shift as a psychological barrier between herself and Marla's American cynicism. Carter insisted on having personal items nearby so she could quickly reconnect with her own identity, becoming noticeably more cheerful whenever she changed out of Marla's deliberately unflattering costumes.
I'm on to you.
What?
Yeah. You're a faker. You're not dying.
Sorry.
Fact number 8. The Starbucks product placement, irony that became legendary. In one of film history's most brilliantly subversive decisions, David Fincher deliberately placed a Starbucks cup in nearly every scene as ironic commentary on how corporate branding infiltrates every aspect of our lives, even in films criticizing consumer culture. This wasn't accidental product placement. It was a calculated middle finger to corporate America disguised as advertising. Fincher worked with production designer Alex McDowell to ensure Starbucks logos appeared subtly throughout the film, from office scenes to support group meetings. The irony was multi-layered, a film preaching anti-consumerism while being funded by corporations, distributed through corporate theaters, featuring one of America's most recognizable brands. Starbucks executives were reportedly horrified when they discovered the context, realizing their cups appeared in scenes discussing corporate America's destruction.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
Fact number 9. Tyler's subliminal appearances were Fincher's mind game. Tyler Durden appears in 4 brief single-frame flashes before his official introduction, split-second appearances that audiences' subconscious minds register but consciously miss, creating unsettling feelings that something's wrong. This technique replicated the psychological experience of dissociation that the narrator experiences. The appearances occur during mundane moments, at the office, doctor's waiting room, support group meetings, suggesting Tyler exists in the narrator's everyday life margins before their first encounter. Fincher spent weeks timing these flashes precisely, ensuring they lasted exactly 1/24th of a second, long enough for brains to register images, but not for conscious recognition. This created subliminal unease many viewers couldn't explain, reporting something felt off without identifying why, until Tyler's true nature was revealed.
God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars. Advertising has us chasing cars and clothes.
Fact number 10. The chemical burn scenes carefully orchestrated realism. Contrary to persistent rumors claiming real chemicals were used on Edward Norton's hand, the chemical burn scene was achieved through sophisticated makeup effects. But the realism was so convincing, it traumatized crew members watching the filming. The scene required weeks of preparation, with makeup effects supervisor Rob Bottin, who created progressive prosthetic burns applied in stages to show skin damage developing in real time. Norton worked with the makeup team to understand realistic reactions to chemical burns, studying medical footage and consulting burn specialists. The chemical was actually a harmless mixture, creating mild warming sensation, giving Norton a physical reference without actual harm. The makeup effects were so realistic that several crew members became nauseated, and one camera operator fainted during close-up shots of the prosthetic burn.
What is this?
This is a chemical burn. It'll hurt more than you've ever been burned, and you will have a scar.
What are you doing?
Fact number 11. Brad Pitt's improvised Tyler Durden became iconic. Many of Tyler Durden's most memorable quirks, from his distinctive laugh to specific gestures and line deliveries, were Brad Pitt's spontaneous improvisations that David Fincher loved enough to keep, fundamentally shaping cinema's most charismatic anti-hero. Pitt approached Tyler as a physical performer, developing his loose, predatory walk and distinctive hand gestures through weeks of character development beyond the script. His famous hyena-like laugh wasn't scripted. Pitt developed it after visiting a zoo and being fascinated by hyena sounds, feeling they captured Tyler's predatory amusement at human weakness. The way Tyler casually licks lips, drums fingers, and moves with fluid confidence were all Pitt's physical choices. Some of Tyler's most quotable lines were Pitt's rehearsal improvisations that Fincher incorporated into the final script, including philosophical observations about consumer culture.
Power animal.
Fact number 12. The fight choreography revolution that changed cinema. Fight Club's fight scenes required revolutionary choreography, balancing brutal realism with actor safety, essentially inventing new techniques that influenced action filmmaking for decades. Fight choreographer Jeff Imada rejected traditional Hollywood choreography, which looked theatrical and unrealistic, instead developing a style capturing the messy, desperate nature of actual underground fighting. The fights were designed to look ugly and painful rather than heroic, with combatants getting genuinely tired, making mistakes, and suffering realistic consequences. Each scene was meticulously planned, with multiple camera angles to capture chaos while ensuring no actor was in danger, requiring weeks of rehearsal to achieve spontaneous violence appearance. Norton and Pitt trained extensively in throwing convincing punches, falling properly, absorbing fake impacts, and making exhaustion look authentic. Imada introduced mixed martial arts techniques, establishing new standards for realistic fight scenes, prioritizing visceral impact over stylized beauty.
You decide your own level of involvement.
I will. I want to know certain things first.
First rule of Project Mayhem.
Up.
Fact number 13. The box office flop that became a cultural revolution. Fight Club earned only $37 million domestically against its $63 million budget, making it one of 1999's biggest commercial disasters. Many viewers walked out during theatrical screenings, confused by the anti-establishment themes. However, everything changed when the film hit DVD in 2000. College students and young professionals discovered it through home video, evangelizing about its deeper meanings. Video stores couldn't keep copies in stock, and the DVD became one of 2000's best sellers, earning over $55 million. The film found its natural audience, people feeling trapped by consumer culture, becoming a generational touchstone that transformed how studios marketed controversial content.
Have we ever had sex?
What kind of stupid question is
Is it because the answer is yes or because the answer is no?
It's a trick.
No, Marla, I need to know.
You want to know if I think we're just having sex or making love?
Fact number 14. Real fight clubs emerged worldwide, missing the point entirely. Within months of the DVD release, police departments began reporting actual underground fight clubs in basements and warehouses, where young men gathered to fight. These real clubs completely missed the film's anti-violence critique, focusing purely on violence as masculine bonding. The phenomenon spread internationally to the UK, Canada, Australia, and Europe, with participants explicitly referencing the movie. Most disturbing to filmmakers, these clubs adopted Tyler Durden's philosophy without understanding its satirical nature, treating his speeches as genuine manifestos. David Fincher and Chuck Palahniuk were horrified, with Palahniuk feeling partly responsible for encouraging unintended violence.
Why do you think I blew up your condo? What? Bottom isn't a weekend retreat. It's not a goddamn seminar. Stop trying to control everything and just let go.
Fact number 15, the generational impact that split society. Fight Club fundamentally divided audiences along generational lines, creating lasting debates about masculinity, capitalism, and violence. Generation X and early millennials connected with the narrator's corporate alienation and Tyler's rebellion against materialism, seeing it as prophetic during the 2008 financial crisis. However, older viewers interpreted it as glorifying violence and nihilism. The film influenced fashion trends, political movements, and masculine identity formation among men coming of age in the 2000s. Academic studies documented both positive effects, rejecting toxic materialism, and negative ones, romanticizing violence, making it one of the most culturally influential yet controversial films of its generation. Every corporate logo that appears in Fight Club is slightly distorted or damaged in some way, a subtle visual metaphor for the corruption of capitalism that most viewers never notice, even on multiple viewings. Fight Club started as Hollywood's biggest risk and became cinema's most controversial masterpiece. The chaos behind the camera was just as intense as what we saw on screen, and somehow that chaos created something legendary. If you love discovering the secrets behind legendary movies, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're diving deep into Hollywood's strangest stories.